mentality of I'm the best player in college football and I know it, and show what you can do to stop me. And there's going to be some cockiness that comes along with that. You have to understand that. You have to take that with a grain of salt. And people around College Station obviously love him. He's done great things for this university. But the way I see it, the way these guys are talking about him on sports talk radio, is they see him like this glorified god. And you have to realize he's a 20-year-old kid. He's the same age as me. And I read this great article yesterday. I don't really remember who wrote it or anything. I was up late on Facebook last night, came across this article, and it's like basically not that I don't even know how to word this, guys, but not that I would defend Johnny Manziel, but this article that I read that was kind of defending his case. Like, look, he's a 20-year-old kid, so what if why is all the focus on his off-field stuff? I mean, look at what he does on the field. And I kind of get that to a point. I mean, but at the same time, Johnny has to understand, I've won a Heisman Trophy. I'm on a different pedestal. I'm in the spotlight. People are always going to be looking at what I'm doing. And he has to be aware of that, whether he is or not, whatever he claims to be. I just don't get. I get that the media is all over him because he's the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, but it gets to a point where this kid's in college. You got to let him live his life. If he's cocky, so what? And he has to understand that being cocky, teams are going to be gunning for his head. Look at Alabama to just absolutely go for him in a week from now when they play him here at Kyle Field. But Johnny Manziel comes with he's going to be a guy that teams are going to want to take out, obviously, because he's Texas A&M's best player. And you saw how inefficient they were under Matt Jokel, and that kind of makes me wonder if Johnny Manziel were to be suspended for this season. Granted, the punishment has already been, it's over, it's done with. That's all the NCAA is going to investigate into the Johnny Manziel autograph signing scandal, saga, whatever you want to call it. But if it came out before the season started that he was suspended for the season for receiving improper benefits, I see Texas A&M going 7-5 under Matt Jokel or Kenny Hill. And another thing was, Texas A&M lost 6 of their defensive starters to suspension this week. And they're going to be back for the Alabama game. So that Alabama game is just going to be absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, I'm going to break that down at a later date sometime next week. But Johnny Manziel, will he repeat for the Heisman? I highly doubt it, just based on the fact that it is absolutely so hard to do. And it's only happened once. And my money right now is on A.J. McCarron. I'll touch a little bit on AJ when we come back from this commercial break. Nick Lott Show, 4th and Inches, Spreaker Web Radio, Alabama and Virginia Tech recap coming up next. We're going to talk a little AJ McCarron. Thank you for tuning in. Nick Lott Show, 4th and Inches, Spreaker Web Radio.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor.
Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor.
Ground beef, refried beans, guacamole, cheese, sour cream, and if there's any room left, a few shreds of lettuce.
I don't see no lettuce.
A culinary creation that baffles the human mind. A 12,000-calorie salad.
Ah, caramba.
Some may ask, is your taco salad healthy? Of course it is. It's a salad, isn't it?
You can eat that deep-fried crunchy bowl.
So crack open a nice cold Bud Light conquistador of the calorie. You put the feast in fiesta.
Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor.
What's up, guys? Late night edition of the Nick Lott Show, 4th and Inches on Spreaker Web Radio. Thank you for tuning in. College football recap of Week 1. Texas Tech beats SMU. Covered that in the first segment. Really liked what I saw from Baker Mayfield. And A&M beats Rice. Johnny Manziel plays the second half. Plays pretty well. 3 touchdown passes. Some extracurricular activities, so to speak, with the unsportsmanlike conduct. And Alabama beats Virginia Tech 35-10. And I'm going to give my 2 cents on that game really quick. Really liked what I saw from A.J. McCarron. I was talking to my buddy earlier this week, and I was saying, how many people can say they've had the opportunity to win 3 straight national championships? And A.J. McCarron is on the right path based on what I saw. Kind of like last year, he came out firing. Granted, there was a kickoff and a punt return for a touchdown for Alabama. But from what I saw this weekend, A.J. McCarron is ready to go. He's gunning for that 3rd straight national championship. He's ready for that ring. He's improved a lot in his throwing motion. He's going to be a pocket passer. Don't look for him to try to extend plays very much. He's got T.J. Yeldon helping him out in the backfield. And T.J. Yeldon is just a monster. He's going to cause some problems for some defenses this year. And I can't wait till this next week's matchup, because with A&M getting their defensive starters back, again, they had 6 suspended for these first couple games against Rice and Sam Houston State, but they'll have all their starters back for Alabama, so it's going to be a true dogfight, guys. I mean, there's no 2 ways around it. Johnny Manziel versus the stellar Alabama defense, and A.J. McCarron coming into a hostile environment. Kyle Field, granted, he did very well against LSU last year in the second half, I must say. LSU shut him down pretty well in the first half, but in the second half, A.J. McCarron just took over. So he's used to playing in those loud environments. He's used to playing when the pressure's on. All eyes are going to be on these 2 quarterbacks, Johnny Manziel and A.J. McCarron, and it's going to come down to who performs better, because their defenses are going to be pretty evenly matched. So it's going to come down to the quarterback, in my opinion. And I got to lean towards A.J. McCarron. Like I said, I'm going to break down this game more in depth. But at this point, I'm leaning towards A.J. McCarron and Alabama to take that win. Show coming up later next week. I will definitely break that game down more in depth for y'all. So stay tuned for that. But back to this Virginia Tech-Alabama game. Alabama just flattened them, kind of like they did Michigan last year. And people are always going to say, could Alabama beat some pro teams? And that's a completely different discussion that I want to get into now, guys. Bottom line is Alabama deserves to be the number 1 team in the nation, and they showed you why Saturday night. LSU TCU. We're going to get into this game, take a quick break, and I'll come back and talk the Clemson and Georgia game. But LSU TCU, Zach Mettenberger, big ups. He's improved drastically. Their offense actually moved the ball, and that was without Jeremy Hill, who was out for the game, team suspension, something along those lines. Odell Beckham played great on the return game as well as receiving. Didn't really see much of Cajun Boone. Didn't really see him in many packages. Landry, great as always. And LSU's defense, I mean, they're going to be nasty this year. They lost a lot on the defensive line, but like I said last week, they're gonna find a way to replace those guys. They're gonna be good on defense, and I said their secondary was nasty. And with Craig Lawson leading the way, I mean, they're gonna be a very good team defensively this year, guys. Just let them get another game under their belt. before they get into the big boys in the SEC. It's going to be a dogfight in the SEC West, guys. It's going to be a 3-horse race: A&M, LSU, Alabama, in no particular order. And this game next week is going to determine a lot of that. But like I said, I see Alabama winning that game, but I'm not going to get too much into that. I really liked what I saw out of LSU, given that TCU's good defense by many people's standards. They moved the ball efficiently, and like I said, Zach Mettenberger has done a complete 360 from last year. I mean, he's able to complete the deep ball downfield. He's making the right reads, and he gets a lot of help in the running game. So, I mean, when you're only throwing 15, 20 times a game and you're accurate, that's going to do a heck of a lot for your offense. And with the new offensive coordinator, Cam Cameron, Les Miles totally trust him with total control of the offense. This is the first time in a while that Les Miles hasn't had a say in what his offense is doing. Cam Cameron's calling all the plays. I think Zach Mettenberger's just going to flourish under Cam Cameron. And I think it's going to be a good season for the LSU Tigers. We'll be right back. Nick Lott Show, Spreaker Web Radio, 4th and Inches. Thanks for tuning in. We'll come back. We'll talk that Clemson and Georgia game. Hang in there, guys.
Budweiser presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today, we salute you, Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
While lesser designers would shy away from putting 300-pound men in spandex, you embrace it.
Yes, you do.
Pushing fashion to its limits, literally, you pair tights with a cape, a leotard with a mask, leather boots with a thong.
Ow, looking good.
All understated ways of saying, I'm going to rip your head off and look fabulous doing
Ripping
it.
off heads.
So this bud's for you, Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Guy, because without you, a man crushing another man's head in his arms would just look silly.
Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
Waking up to ash and dust, I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals